If you're losing hair, stop eating these foods. Are you noticing more hair in your shower drain and wondering what's going on? Here's something most people don't think about. You might be eating foods that are actually contributing or accelerating to your hair loss. In this video, we're diving into 4 foods which may be contributing to your hair loss. They're backed by solid research, admittedly inconclusive research. Hey, I'm Andrew, co-founder of Anagen and HairDAO. We are a global community of researchers, patients, and scientists dedicated to solving hair loss and turning a slick, bald scalp fully hairy again. Before we get into the list, let's keep it real. Androgenetic alopecia, male or female pattern hair loss, is primarily, if not entirely, dictated by your genes. Foods will not play a massive impact on whether or not you go bald, but they can mildly accelerate or decelerate the rate of hair loss. So food doesn't cause hair loss, but it may change your hormonal or inflammatory profile, which can then impact the speed of your loss. Eating the right foods will not make your hair regrow on its own, but eating poorly may accelerate the loss. So let's look at the foods that may be quietly speeding things up. Number 1, sugar and refined carbohydrates. We're talking sodas, pastries, sweetened drinks, and white bread, pastas, etc. A 2022 Chinese study found that men that consumed sugary drinks had an increased risk of suffering from androgenetic alopecia. Now, it didn't prove that drinking sugary drinks caused hair loss. The correlation could be spurious, but it did raise the important question: why is there a correlation with sugar intake and potential risk of suffering from hair loss? So while excessive sugar intake may not be directly impacting your hair loss, it can have indirect effects, namely increased inflammation, elevated insulin levels, and increased DHT, which can quietly subvert your follicular future. Number 2, milk, but not necessarily all dairy. This one surprises people, but chugging milk in large quantities can increase IGF-1, which is associated with increased hormonal activity, acne, greasy skin, and, you guessed it, hair loss. High IGF-1 activity ramps up oil production in the scalp and may actually increase DHT signaling as well in those cells. This means more buildup, irritation, and in genetically susceptible people, faster, quicker miniaturization over time. But interestingly, not all dairy behaves the same. At a high level, fermentation changes proteins and signaling in a way that does not raise your DHT levels or impact DHT signaling. In short, you do not have to ditch all dairy, but if you're chugging milk on the daily, I would likely avoid that. Your scalp might literally be breathing easier when you stop. Number 3, red meat and eggs are powerhouses and excellent sources of protein, irons, zinc, and cholesterol. But here's the flip side. In genetically susceptible people, those same nutrients may support higher androgen levels and DHT activity. These foods tend to be higher in saturated fats, cholesterol, and zinc, all nutrients which are used in androgen pathways. Since DHT is the critical hormonal trigger in miniaturizing hair follicles, overstimulating its production may accelerate your hair loss. To be clear, no study proves that meat causes hair loss, but research does find that higher saturated fat intake can correlate with oilier scalps and increased androgen production. Add in processed meats and the associated inflammatory effects, and you have the perfect environment to create added follicular stress, which can make your hair fall out more quickly. So in sum, and maybe this is just because I do love red meat and eggs as well, I would keep the protein intake limited, particularly to leaner cuts, where you're gonna get less of those saturated fats. And if you want, you can incorporate fish or plant proteins. Not my cup of tea, but maybe some people like those. On the whole, I would say that these foods give you really great nutrients that you don't want to avoid in total, but sometimes it can be nice to give your scalp a break. Number 4, we have seed oils. This one is a little bit sneaky, but it is increasingly being discussed. We're talking soybean, corn, sunflower, canola, seeds. None of these are going to be good for your hair or your general health. Unfortunately, they're everywhere. Snacks, salad dressings, and of course, fried food. These oils are packed with omega-6 fats, which your body converts into arachidonic acid, which is a building block of prostaglandin D2. Prostaglandin D2, also called PGD2 for short, has been found in the scalp biopsies routinely in balding scalps and in lab studies on follicles that has been shown to block hair growth. That said, only a subset of people dealing with androgenetic alopecia actually seem to have follicles that are sensitive to PGD2 itself, so maybe this isn't an everybody problem, but it is a subsect problem for certain people who may be dealing with androgenetic alopecia. Still, diets which are overloaded with omega-6 fats can contribute to chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, which we know is not only bad for general health, but particularly your hair follicle health. health. So when you cook, ditch the seed oils entirely, opt for the healthy oils like olive oil, avocado oil, or animal fats, and get your essential fats from omega-3 packed foods like salmon or flaxseed. Your scalp, and of course just your overall health, will be better for it. Eating healthy and avoiding these foods can help slow down any hair loss that you're dealing with.